Now, polycystic ovary syndrome is a rather common condition affecting around 1 in 10 women in the UK, according to the NHS. Well, our next guest is a country music singer who struggles with the condition and dedicates her time to raising awareness. First of all, let's take a listen to some of her work.
From your skin-tight shirt to the holes in your jeans, you raised my heart like I was 16. From the chrome on your buckle to under the hood, when God made you, God did good. God did good when He put you together, up from your head down to your toes. Working overtime, couldn't do any better. The whole wide world and heaven knows I've been blessed with more than I should. God made you, God did good.
And Jessica Clemens from Jess and the Bandits is here with me now. Lovely to see you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And I want to talk about your music and about the rise of country music in a moment. But let's start off talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome, because it is something that you have and that you spend a lot of time trying to raise awareness of. So give us an idea of what it is for anyone watching that doesn't know.
Well, you know, it is a hormonal condition. A lot of girls have it from the time they're about 12 years old, but you don't know that you've got it until much later. You could find out because you're having a problem having a baby or just not feeling well. For me, I was in my early 20s, not that long ago, and I was in my early 20s and my body, I felt terrible. I was sweating constantly. Honestly, I thought I was going through menopause, because all of the symptoms were the same. And I went to doctor after doctor, and they said, oh, you're fine. You're fine. I had one doctor look at me and said, I can tell just by looking at you. You're fine. So I didn't take his word for it, and I went and did tons of testing and then found out I had PCOS. And it was such an eye-opening thing to find out all of my weight struggles, the overall feeling of not having energy, just feeling unwell all the time, was because of that, not because I was doing something wrong.
And that's so interesting, isn't it? And in fact, September is
Yes.
PCOS's Awareness Month, and you obviously feel it's really important. And just from your story, it shows you that even some doctors aren't aware of some of the symptoms as well. So how important is it, do you think, to spread the message so that if other young girls or women notice these symptoms, they kind of have an idea of what's going on?
Oh, I think it's huge, because if I found out, and imagine other women as well, because one of the biggest issues with PCOS is infertility. And if you can find out early, there's a very good chance that you can hopefully fix the problem before it becomes a bigger problem as you age and go through any other hormonal things in your body, as women we do constantly. And that finding out, if you're 14 years old and you're saying, I don't understand what's going on, it's like, I'm not eating bad, I'm exercising, but I can't seem to shift this weight. Or why am I drenched in sweat? It's cold outside and I don't feel right. Well, find someone to talk to.
OK. Let's talk about your music. I think you've got a new album coming out.
Yeah.
And you have this country music style, which has become a big hit at the moment. I mean, I saw it described as the biggest music craze this year. We've got Beyonce getting involved, Dua Lipa's had a little flirtation with it as well, I think. So what drew you to the genre, and why do you think it's having this sort of big revival?
Well, I am from Texas, so I think when we're born, we have to we gotta know country music, right? But I think that people like Beyonce and a lot of the other artists dipping their toes in, it's incredible because it's bringing an awareness to the genre, which is also helping artists like myself who have always done it. And now people are finding this new genre, which is really exciting here in the UK, because I've been over here doing country music for 10 years. And it's incredible to see the audiences changing and growing.
So do you think it's just about raising awareness? And you could say that Taylor Swift, who started out as a country singer, has probably raised its profile as well, even though she's perhaps a bit more poppy now. But do you think it's about people thinking, oh, I didn't know about this? Or is there something about country music that speaks to our times, or that people see some kind of solace in it somehow?
It's storytelling. It's storytelling. People love that. They love to hear something that means something, that relates to them. I think we can go back and look at any genre of music at a certain time period, the 1970s, and how there were all of these stories about what was happening in the world at that time. And that's kind of what country music does as well. So you can go back and listen to these country songs and get lost in a story. And who doesn't like right now getting lost in something other than what's going on right now?
And your new album is called Jessica.
It is.
So is it autobiographical? I mean, you'd assume that it was.
A little bit. Since I started the first album, this is the third album that we put out. And since I first started, I've become a mom. I've become a mother, a wife, and my life has totally changed. So it's almost in a sense of finding myself again. And so that's why we called it Jessica, just simply put.
Fantastic. Well, Jessica, it's really lovely to meet you. And I'm going to ask you to stay because before you came on, I did ask you whether you own dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And you said yes. So stay with us.
I will.
We'll come back to you in a minute. In the meantime, though, I'm just going to tell you what's happening pollen-wise with the pollen.
Do you know what kind of pollen gets up your nose? Sky News Pollen Reports, brought to you by the Kleenex Your Pollen Pal app.
Now, any overnight mist or fog patches will soon lift on Sunday to leave another mostly fine and pleasant day with plenty of warm, sunny spells, although it will be cloudier, cooler and breezier further north with some well-scattered showers. Some of the showers that break out over northern Scotland could turn heavy through the afternoon, but these should ease into the evening. Grass and tree pollen levels are now low, but weed and fungal spores will rise to high in the warm, dry conditions across much of England and Wales.
Sky News Pollen Reports, brought to you by the Kleenex Your Pollen Pal app.
Time to look at some dogs. You'd think that Billie Eilish and Sydney Sweeney might be gracing the front of Vogue. But no, well, maybe yes, but also their dogs are. There's a special edition of Vogue to celebrate our furry friends, and here are some examples. Look at that. That's Io Edeberry's dog, Gromit.
It's Dogue. It's not Dogue. Oh,
It is Dogue. They called it Dogue. There we go. Oh, that's all we've got time for. Anyway, hello to Dogue. Check them all out. There are plenty of them. Top stories up next.